You're listening to Better Live Than Dead.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to something. I'm not really sure what this is right now. It's a prototype, I guess, is the best way to put it. Before we get too far into this, I am Ryan Wolfe, the overlord of BLTD Sports.com. Maybe soon just BLTD. I'm thinking we might be doing something there, but hey, it all depends how much fun this is. Because if it's fun to talk about other things aside from sports, God forbid that may actually be a real thing, maybe, just maybe, we can be a bigger brand. So I want to bring in right now the co-host of this first ever, I guess, Musiccast. We'll call it the BLTD Musiccast. How does that sound?
Sounds good to me.
I just made that up on the fly. That's how goddamn good I am.
That was clever.
Tony Fortunato, the overlord of Fortune Studios, is joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, Tony.
Hi.
If you had a Twitter account, I would pump it, but you don't ever tweet on it, so I'm not going to talk about it.
I have one. It's Fortune_Studios,
Just
but
never tweets about it.
it's just I mostly just use Instagram.
But if you follow me on Twitter
Same
at
thing.
WolfeBLTD, I will tweet out 69 jokes and 420 jokes and dick and fart jokes.
Story of your life.
It's the story of my life. Yes, I've actually made people mad because of it. That is a true story. If you asks me off the air, I will tell you. I'm not going to talk about it on air though, because I will deny it as the day is long until you actually ask me in person. But that's not why we're here today. We're here today for the first ever BLTD Musiccast. Now, our buddy TJ Luckman, LJ Tuckman, at Steady Ride on Twitter, is going to be joining us sometime in the future. But today, this was a last-minute thing, so we're just going to do it now and see how it works and see how you guys like it. We've got 3 things to talk about today. We're going to talk about Thrice, new song that came out today. We're going to talk about that one first. We're going to talk about Sixx AM's new album, Prayers for the Damned, Volume 1. And then we're going to talk about Blink-182's new album, or new song off their new album. Mm-hmm. New song is called Bored to Death. But first off, let's get started with Thrice. Tony, when you first heard this song, because you told me to listen to it. First time I ever heard Thrice. I'm a big fan now. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this band, I've always been a fan of this band. They've changed themselves quite a bit. I'm not sure if that's really a good or a bad thing in this sense here. This is their first album coming back from a 4-year hiatus. So, I mean, they've disbanded and they've done other stuff with Dustin Kensrue. He's the front man of the band, and he's been doing some other stuff on his own with the Modern Post. So during the hiatus, but with listening to this band here, I can really tell that they're going in more of an ambient style, but still keeping some of their original hard music that they've been trying to have. They've been trying to kind of get back to, I feel like. So, what did you think? What did you?
I mean, I when I first heard it, I mean, when I played the song, I was pretty jacked up. And this is the best part, everybody, by the way, in the music land, is that Tony went to college. He graduated college with music, all the music stuff. So he knows all the fun words and all the things to say. Where I just talk about how it makes me feel. I just say it made me feel good.
That's good.
And then that's pretty much all that I can do. But being completely serious, yeah, when I heard the song, I mean, it's got a great vibe. It certainly has me wanting more, which is always a good thing. I mean, for the first time you hear a band, or even when the first time you hear a new song off of a new record, you never want to hear the song and go, well, shit, man, that sucked.
This is Black Honey, by the way.
Yes, Black Honey by Thrice. You can check it out on Spotify. I might actually, even if I get a little fancy, I might throw the Spotify links on the page when we post this video up, or this podcast, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. But yeah, I felt like, you know, I had a pretty good vibe throughout the song. The nothing too crazy. It flowed real well. The lyrical content was good. I went back and listened to more Thrice after I heard the song at your behest, and I didn't notice much different. I mean, it seemed all
songs to listen to.
The 2 most popular songs that they have on Spotify.
Do you remember the names of it? Was it Artist in the Ambulance?
I can just pop it up right now if you give me a moment.
Yeah.
We're like whoring out Spotify right now.
Yeah. They should like pay us or something.
That would be ideal. All right, so I listened to, let's see, Artist in the Ambulance and Blood in the Sand. Blood on
the Sand actually is from this album as well. So I was going to ask you about that.
Dude,
so
come on.
That was actually one of their new songs.
That was a fantastic song as
so
well.
That song I was going to be getting to here is honestly what I feel like. So you've listened to Artist in the Ambulance. That is one of their really original stuff from like the early 2000s.
Okay.
That stuff is really really heavy. And then when they had like some of their latest albums, they've been really ambient and they've been really experimenting with other stuff, like really kind of chill vibe material, and it's really kind of just relaxing. And this one, I feel like they found a happy medium with it, where they have that really heaviness in Blood in the Sand, and then they have Black Honey, where it almost sounds like Chris Cornell. Do you know Chris Cornell?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it really, his voice is insane in this because it sounds totally different than last time I heard him. But it's I mean, musically, lyrically, I love this. This is great to me.
Believe me, I'm looking forward to when the album comes out, and we can talk more about the album when it actually comes out on a future BLTD Musiccast.
Yep.
But it's certainly. I mean, you've introduced me to a lot of music over the years, and this is another thing where I hear it and I instantly, like I said, I want more. So that to me is fantastic when you can hear not only new music for the first time, but a new band for the first time, new band to myself. And I immediately go, hey, where can I get more? And thankfully they have a nice little discography on Spotify that I can just jam through and crush and really enjoy it.
There's this wonderful thing called Google.
Yeah, don't be a smartass. Your time here is limited. If you want to be a smartass, I know how to get home from here.
Right.
But I like I said, if you get a chance, check out Thrice's Black Honey. It's a new single off of their new album. I don't know what their new album is called.
I don't know. I think it's. I do know what it is, but I didn't write it down, to be honest with you.
Oh, that's a good job.
But there is a name. Yeah, we should probably say that.
Sell your device.
I can tell you who recorded it. Eric Palmquist, who has recorded the likes of Mars Volta and a lot of really ambient music. So it's like really like chill music and stuff. So it really doesn't. Really, the person that I didn't think was going to be very good for this job. There was going to be something that just kind of stayed in their path, but honestly, he did a really good job. I feel like just the two songs I've heard.
Before we move on, last but not least, the album is called To Be Everywhere Is to Be Nowhere.
Yeah.
By Thrice, May 27th, 2016. So we'll talk about this one in a little while. Moving on now, though, we move over to Sixx AM.
So this is the first one we're actually covering an entire album for.
Yeah, we're breaking new ground.
Pretty cool.
I mean, we're breaking new ground in the podcast, although I guess, we're I don't know, we're doing whatever we want to do, and that's I guess the point of this.
Yep.
Prayers for the Damned Volume 1, streaming live now on Spotify. You can obviously buy albums, records, whatever you want, whatever tickles your fancy. For me, I really enjoyed, again, I got to give the background here. I'm a big Motley Crue fan. For those who don't know, shocker, I'm a gigantic Motley Crue fan. So when Nikki Sixx started a side project years ago, did the Heroin Diaries, that kind of really set it off for me. Just big fan of the lyrics, the music, the tone, the feel of the songs, all that stuff. I dig it. I really like Sixx AM. DJ Ashba's a magician on the guitar as well. He's just a absolute blast to watch. If anybody who out there didn't know, before Slash rejoined Guns N' Roses, he was Slash in Guns N' Roses. So it's a lot of fun to watch these guys, and also not to leave out James Michael, talented producer, good singer. But I'm here moderating this podcast because I want to hear what you have to say.
Right, and I know we talked a little bit about it before, but this is the album. I felt I was a little bit disappointed in, and it was very much to the fact that. Okay, I'll talk about the production. I'll break it down a little bit. So we'll start with the production of it. the way it was produced, I mean, it sounded really good. Sonically, it was awesome. It was everything. The levels were good, really well mixed. It was very, for the genre it is, it's perfect. Mm-hmm. I thought it was a little bit compressed. It didn't really have too many dynamic tones in there. Essentially, it just didn't have enough dynamics for me. It was just straight loud, and then sometimes it'll have a quiet part, but it was just straight loud.
That sounds
time.
about right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So basically, now coming from a producer's standpoint, I kind of just know what they did. I mean, like, okay, so when you record something, like as we're doing right now, we're using Pro Tools right now. You can save the settings in Pro Tools, and you can transfer it over to each song that you record.
Okay.
It sounds like they recorded something and then mixed it, and then just said, okay, just hit those settings and put them on every single song.
And that sounds about right. I mean, that's the one thing that I felt, and it didn't really disappoint me, but I noticed. I've listened to the album a couple times because I'm the type of person where I'm not going to listen to something once and then just give you my thought. I'm listening to it 4, 5, 6 times and then let it kind of set in and get to know what I'm listening to before I go, yeah, this is good or this is bad. So I listened to it, 3 or 4 times, the album, and I noticed the start of the album was very kind of melodic, hard-hitting, heavy stuff, and then as the album went on, it kind of just slowed down and got a little more like, okay, yeah, the first couple songs are great, like the 4th or 5th song's really good, and then it just feels like you're just producing the same thing the rest of the album. So I do get that vibe, and again, I understand that they're a band that doesn't need to go out and necessarily say,
prove
look,
themselves.
we don't have to prove ourselves. We're going to play the music we want to play. We're going to play the sound we want to play. If you show up or you don't, we don't care because we don't care. We're going to do what we want to do.
People are going to show up no matter
exactly.
what.
So I guess that's like that may be part of it too. I don't know how that works. That whole side of it works out, but I would have to assume, knowing enough bands that have been popular and gotten complacent, where they can just sit around and go, we're going to make the last album. We're just going to change the words and the drums and the guitars a little.
Yep.
And then we're just going to make the same album. And that kind of feels like what it was here. I mean, don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed it, like I said. But I certainly get what you're saying when you mention it's same feel, same vibe. Because I listened to this album and I listened back to, like, thinking about Modern Vintage, their last album. And I'm like, this is essentially like they just cut the reel for Modern Vintage and kept recording songs off that album because it just feels like that album.
Like I said, I feel like, when they did... Life is Beautiful, they had success with that, and then they just made a bunch of Life is Beautifuls.
And you know what? If it works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Hey, whatever works for them.
Exactly.
It's not my cup of tea. I'm more of a, just to give a little bit of background on what I'm into. My favorite band is Between the Buried and Me. Shout out to Paul Wagner, who has been on the show on the podcast.
Couple times. He's a big. We like to say Paul is a big fan of the podcast.
There we go. And yeah, I'm just really into like progressive metal and that kind of vibe. It's just things that change
crazy time signatures and time changes and whatnot.
Exactly. But yeah, I went through this composition of the songs. So now, so going from production to the writing of the songs, it seems like they kind of just followed a formula. You know what I mean?
Which again, it goes back to what we were saying.
Exactly. It goes intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, drop.
Probably a guitar
solo,
probably
and then
guitar
the
solo
chorus
in there somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it does everything by the books in a sense of it does probably what they wanted it to do.
Well, here's a question I have for you, because you're the smart guy here. You're the music nerd. I'm just some booty dude talking about music.
Just a fan.
Exactly. I'm just a super fan. But if a band today, a brand new band, made an album like this, like Prayers for the Damned, Volume 1, or Prayers of the Damned, I can't even remember.
Watch that cable there. I'm hearing a little bit of clicking.
I got you.
Okay.
I'll hold on to it. I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm a little loose over here, guys. If a band today, a new band, came out with this album, do you think they would have success, or do you think it might be something where they might get like a niche in a market, but it may not be a huge success?
Okay, so if a band, like an unknown band, just kind of came up with this album
or like
now.
a band, say a band broke through and this was their first major album, do you think that they could be popular with this formula that Sixx AM used?
No, they would be drowned out in all of the other bands that are doing the same formula, and I don't think they would be. If this was their first album, their breakout album, I feel like there would not be as big of a deal as if Sixx AM came out with this album.
Yeah.
because of the name.
Well,
mostly,
it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna be an album that sells. I mean, they've got their niche market because you've got DJ Ashba fans, you've got Nikki Sixx fans, James Michael fans. Mm-hmm. So there's gonna be, it'll probably chart high in a Billboard chart. That's still even an important thing in music. I don't think it is, but whatever. Right. It'll sell some records. It'll people will be going out to the shows that they have coming up. I mean, they're doing a solo or a headlining tour for some clubs. I'm actually going to see them in Pittsburgh, if it tells you how much of a fan I am. I'm going to meet the band here in a couple weeks, but more about that later. Mm-hmm. But I feel like they've got their niche nailed pretty well, because I mean they're doing the solo shows, and then they're going to take some time off in the fall. They're opening up for Shinedown, and
hold on, the cable's kind of bad here. You talk again for me? Hold on.
Let me take your microphone.
Yeah, take one.
Okay, so they're opening up for Shinedown and someone else. I can't remember the other band that they're opening up for.
Shinedown, and we can Google it.
I just went blank for a second. No, Five Finger Death Punch. That's who it is.
Oh, okay.
So Shinedown and Five Finger Death Punch and Sixx AM. That'll be a fantastic album, or a fantastic show. And if they come around, I'll probably go see them, because I'm a sucker for music that I like. I don't like, if anybody out there knows me in podcast land or in real life land, whatever it may be, people know I find things I like and I stick to it. So I'm not about to go out and try to find new bands. So when I ask you, Tony, for new music, you must recognize that I'm taking a very large life risk.
No,
because
absolutely.
I'm very nervous.
When we
it's like meeting new people. I don't like to meet new people because I think people suck.
I'm going to swap the cable out of this thing, so I can hear that it's doing stuff.
That's okay. So. That's okay. See, ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when we try to be super fancy and do nice things for the podcast. This is why when I record the podcast, I usually do it on my voice recorder, or I usually do it on my computer with my Snowball microphone, because if this happened and Tony was not here to fix the problem, I would probably pee my diaper, because I'm not really sure. Like there's a nice gigantic board over here with a lot of knobs on it and stuff. So guess what? The cool board with the knobs on it stopped working. So we're back now, and we're talking about music still.
Yeah.
I guess it's a good time to transition away from 6 a.m. over to the reason we're actually here today, the reason we showed up to do this podcast.
Started it all.
The biggest news of the week in the music world. Blink-182 minus Tom DeLonge releases their first new single off of their new album. It's called Bored to Death. And let me tell you what, it did not bore me to death. It gave me almost death because I was so excited for it. And it sounded so good. And I was such a fan.
Yeah. I mean,
I can use the big flashy words, use the technical words. That's why we're so good together, I guess. But
right.
Like it felt like a Blink-182 song. And that's something we haven't had in a long time.
Yes and no. I felt like the drums were very much Blink-182. Travis was definitely there for that. I feel like he's always been a really great drummer. He's always had that same feel about him as a drummer. Energy. But I felt like lyrically and guitar-wise, it wasn't Blink-182. I honestly felt like it wasn't there.
The lyrics felt pretty cheesy, I got to be honest with you. I can't fool around with that. I'm not going to try to fool around with that. But then again, when you're a band that made a career off of dick and fart jokes, I mean, anything aside from that is going to probably seem kind of lame, because like we saw when they tried to go feelings with Tom in we heard that Tom wanted to turn him essentially into Coldplay, which is part of the reason why they kicked him out of the band. Mm-hmm. I mean, like I told you a couple days ago, and I'll tell the people of podcast land right now, I feel like if Blink-182, they can go with real lyrics if they want to. But give us music that sounds and feels like Blink-182, and I think we'll be fine.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
like with Neighborhoods, I didn't really listen to it a lot, because when I heard some of the songs, I just knew it wasn't Blink-182. It was a band called Blink-182 trying to give us music that was not Blink-182.
Yeah,
that bummed me out.
It was very much the same thing. I think Travis brought brought his part as Blink-182, he went in the mindset of, this is how I play, this is how I've always played. And I feel like everybody else went into the mindset of, I want to be more of a grown-up.
Yeah.
And
that's tough.
Yeah, I mean, when you become famous because of a certain way, I mean, it's okay. Like, as you were saying, it's okay to change as long as you still have the same. You have the same idea about the band,
the tone,
the same
feel,
tone, exactly.
All that stuff, and they didn't.
It's just they didn't bring it. I have to disagree. I really think that this album does not sound like a Blink album. I mean, just hearing the one song. I mean, yeah, it sounds. I don't know. It sounds.
It gives
like,
me that feel. Like, I don't know if the album is going to sound like a Blink album. It might not. Mm-hmm. It might just be this one song giving us false hope to overanalyze until the album comes out, which is probably how it's going to work.
That's
but
true.
I mean, I have to think that going back to the formula that worked before, obviously aside from the jokes, because I don't know if they're still going to do that, but it seems like they've got a good thing going. Mm-hmm. With I screw up his name every time I pronounce it, so I apologize. But Matt Skiba, I don't even know how to pronounce it.
Skiba?
I have no idea how to pronounce his name.
I forgot what it was.
The guy from Alkaline Trio.
Yeah.
Matt from Alkaline Trio. That's what I'll call him.
You know who's going to kill us, right? Is Chris.
Dude, Chris is going to... I'm going to talk to Chris on Saturday about this, and I'm sure he may kill me. He may slice my throat with a straight razor. The last time I brought up Blink-182 with Matt from Alkaline Trio, he threatened to murder me. So I'm probably going to do that, because I want to see if he'll actually try to kill me. At least that way I get a haircut for free.
There you go.
But I mean, it feels, again, we're basing a lot of opinions off of like a 5-minute song. The first time we've heard the band come up with anything, because the only time, any other time Matt's been with the band, they just played old Blink stuff.
Right, which is why I'm not going to give it a rating. Like we're going to do a rating for each album that we do cover. I'm not going to give it a rating until after I hear the whole album. Like,
absolutely.
Like at the end of here, we will rate the Sixx AM album. I'll give my rating. You can give your rating. But we not until we're not going to do Thrice, and we're not going to do the Blink song just yet, just because we don't know.
Like, I think with songs, maybe we're doing this on the fly. Maybe with a song, we can give like a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Like, you're going in the right direction, or no, cancel your plans. So redo the album. Yeah, so I think with like the Thrice, absolutely a thumbs up.
Absolutely,
I'm digging the direction.
Very good.
With Blink, thumbs up. I'm cautiously optimistic with Blink-182.
Okay, I give it a thumbs down just because you're
a party pooper.
Because I just don't think that it's Blink. I think that they need to, if they're gonna do that, and they're not gonna be Blink-182, they're not gonna be Rock Show, they're not gonna be all those songs that I grew up with and loved and have that comedic element, but still have I don't know. I feel like they need to change their name.
I'm to the point now where I'm cautiously optimistic, and I'm not expecting a ton from it, which is maybe why I'm so excited about it.
You just because low expectations.
Yeah, my expectations were like when they were talking about making a new album, I was like, this is gonna suck. Yeah. And then they kicked Tom out, or Tom quit, or whatever story you want to believe, and I was like, eh. And then Matt from Alkaline Trio joined, and I was like, I don't really know Alkaline Trio, but something's got to be better.
Right.
And then you saw some videos, and I'm like, okay, this will kind of work. And then we get bored to death, and I'm like, okay, maybe. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, I'm on the upswing. I'm an okay maybe right now.
Yeah.
But I'm an okay maybe enough to give it a thumbs up, to say I like what you've got going on. Keep it up. Don't go give us garbage. Don't play with our emotions like this. Because again, I feel like maybe your expectations are like maybe a little too high, thinking in terms of, if I'm going to get Blink, I want it to be old Blink. I don't think that's ever going to happen again. And I think that's what I've come to terms with, which is why I'm like, just take a step back, think about what we're going to get, and then just let it happen. And if if it sucks, I'll be the first one to sit there and say it sucks.
When you have three members of a band, though, when one person leaves, it's such a more of a drastic change than when you have, like, say, 5 members of the band, especially if one of those members is a singer. Like AC/DC, they got when Bon Scott died and Brian Johnson joined the band. Yeah, I mean that was a huge change.
We are a sports network, so I must comment
on
what just happened.
Proceed. I will just remember this and say it afterwards.
David Ortiz just dropped a 2-run home run on the Yankees. The Red Sox go up 4-2.
Go Sox.
Yeah, Red Sox were down 2-0 late, and then Ortiz, Jackie Bradley gets a 2-run 2-run shot off the wall, and then Ortiz goes, Mega Jack off Dellin Betances. Suck it. I was going to swear there. Suck it. Anyways, I agree with you. Like, the thing about AC/DC that really chaps my ass is they really did Brian Johnson bad. Like, he can't hear. You know why he can't hear? Because AC/DC turns it up to like 17.
This one goes to 11.
As loud as they possibly can.
Right.
Every single goddamn night. Like, you don't think he's going to not be able to hear?
Have you seen their wall of guitar amps?
Yeah, I've heard stories about AC/DC. Like, you can't hear for weeks. And that's one show. Like,
right.
Can you imagine every night for 90
I don't know how the
shows?
rest of them can hear.
Exactly.
You know, the rest of them are going to start complaining about the same thing.
It seems to me like that was just a total money grab. I mean, it's probably going to work out because at this point it's a clown show, and again, you lower expectations. Like, I've just gotten to the point with music where if I think it's going to be a pair of clown shoes, I'm going to call it how I see it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a joke. Anything less than a joke, anything less than a joke is going to be positive. I mean, I thought the Guns N' Roses reunion was going to be an absolute tire fire. We talked with Paul about it. You know, what's going to happen first, the Guns N' Roses reunion or the world's going to end? And he said, I think the world's going to end. I'm pretty sure he said that.
Right, yeah.
I probably misquoted him, but don't mind me. But it's something where maybe with I'm the way with sports you are with music, where I try to be very logical and like, well, if it's going to be this, it has to be that. Where I can kind of suspend disbelief and say, well, look at, you know, if Blink is coming back, just give us the feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, have the same emotion, have the same energy. I just feel like there wasn't the energy of Blink-182. I feel like it was like Blink-182 with, is it Matt Skiba?
Matt from Alkaline Trio.
Alkaline Trio. I feel like that's exactly what it sounded like. It doesn't sound like Blink-182.
Well, maybe that's what they're going for. I mean, maybe they want to just they're
then
just
change
still
your name, you know.
But you can't though. They will never do that because you know why?
Yeah,
that name is going to sell a buttload of tickets.
It's true. That's upsetting, you know.
I mean, it is what it is. Unfortunately,
it's a new Blink.
It's like when Queen went out with Adam Lambert and
yeah,
what
the hell was that?
Why? And again, he's a phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, Adam Lambert's a phenomenal singer, but it's one of those situations where, like, even when Paul Rodgers went out with Queen,
yeah,
you're not Queen.
You're not Freddie Mercury.
You're not Freddie Mercury. I mean, Paul Rodgers, fantastic singer. Adam Lambert, fantastic singer. But you're not Queen.
Right.
So I get that. I understand that. But then again, I see the other side of it. If you throw we're Blink-182 out there,
that's true.
We'll buy tickets. But if you're like we're Dick and Fart Jokes, they might go, who's this band? We don't want to see them. So if you go we're Blink-182, people go, I love Blink-182. And if they go to the show, you know, they may understand that Tom's not the band, or they may not even know. Right. I've been to concerts before where band members have changed and people were like, where is that guy? And it's like, he quit the band 5 years ago, you moron. But that's pretty much it. Now, last one, Sixx AM. What's your give me some stars. We'll do, because we don't have it picked out yet.
Yeah.
We don't have the cool little, are we going to do guitars, drumsticks? I don't know.
Definitely not drumsticks.
Cactuses. Shut up. Shut up. Give me a star.
Out of 10?
Out of 5. We'll do the 5
out of
stars.
5.
We'll do the Rolling Stone rating or whatever. I don't know who does 5 stars.
Sixx AM.
Everybody?
I'm pretty neutral on it. I'm gonna go with a 3.
I was thinking 3.5, 3.5 to 4 maybe,
because
the songs will probably grow on me, so I'll like them more. But I was thinking, you know, it's good, not great. It's got some potential. There are some songs in there that if, you know, they get radio play, or if there's some songs that get on like some commercials
or
Octane, they find something. Like, I know there was
the epitome of Octane
when Modern Vintage came out. Out of nowhere on ESPN, the intro and outro from like SportsCenter was 6 a.m. out of nowhere, and I was like, "Shit, dude, that's awesome." I mean, if you get stuff like that where you can find your niche and you can get picked up, maybe it goes up for me. But I'm thinking, 3.5, 4, but more 3.5 than anything.
Yeah, I'm picking a solid 3 on my end here.
And I'm weird about music too. When I listen, I immediately, like, the first song, I'm like, this is what I think it's gonna be, and it's very hard for me to change my mind. And when I've heard first couple songs, like, you know, this is 3.5, 4. And the more we talk about it, the more I'm very comfortable with just saying it's middle of the road, you know. Not bad, not great, it's good. I enjoyed it. I'll enjoy listening to it 15, 20 times. I'll enjoy seeing them play it live. I'm not mad about it, but it certainly could have been better. And there's another album coming out in October that may be better, and we'll talk about that when that
I
comes
mean,
out.
if,
That's
if
volume
that
2.
if that's like a total like if that blows me away and has like unbelievable creativity. First off, I'm going to ask why they even did the first one.
Well, they recorded all the songs together. They did them all kind of at the same time. They just recorded a ton of music and said, "We've got 2 albums. Let's just put them both out. Who cares?"
Yeah, no, exactly. And like I said, if the next one comes along and I'm like, yeah, cool, awesome, it's really awesome, it has a lot of creativity and it really catches my ear, then I may change my rating. But as of right now, yeah, I'm definitely a solid 3, basically where it's going.
That's fair.
So,
well, friends, this has been the first ever BLTD Musiccast. I'm Ryan Wolfe at Wolfe BLTD on Twitter, joined by Tony Fortunato of Fortune Studios. Crazy how that works out, isn't it?
Yeah, at Fortune Studios on the Instagrams.
You can follow him on Instagram. Yes, that does work.
I know.
You're like Lewis. You just say, you don't say your Twitter. You're just like, follow me on everything. But you can check us out, bltdsports.com, facebook.com/BLTD podcast. Twitter is at BLTD Sports. I want to say thanks for tuning in. And, hey, maybe we'll do this again sometime soon if you'll have us.
Look forward to it.
Bye.